Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Live from Senegal, West Africa. It's your host, Dr. Sherry Mamjara Taal, and joining us from North Carolina today, we have Mr. Kenneth, our special guest, Mr. Kenneth Mohammed. Welcome to the Talisphere.
Thank you very much, Dr. Taal. Thank you.
Awesome. And so, welcome, viewers, and welcome one and all to the Talisphere. Mr. Kenneth Mohammed, could you please tell us a little bit about your background and how you got involved with Life Science of Africa and the IB100 Immunoboost product?
Okay. Yeah. My name's Kenneth Mohammed from North Carolina, and how my background currently is in transportation. Um, and how I got into transportation is actually just looking. I've always been a entrepreneur, a business owner,
Okay.
and I got in transportation about 12 years ago here in America, and opened my eyes up to this country, seeing the different states and everything like that. And so part of the connection between the IB100 is I started looking for some land to do some farming and just wanted to get back to the earth. And so I purchased some land in Georgia, and
Okay.
a brother of mine, he knew of Victor Muhammad, was looking to relocate his animals. He had sheep, cows, and goats.
Okay.
And so we connected, and I had the land and he had the animals. So we pool our resources together as we should do as a people. And in that process, I knew him from the past as far as him being a scientist and producing the supplement IB100. So I'd asked him about it, and it started from there in 2017. And that's how we got started.
Awesome.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so, yeah, that's fantastic. Could you share with our Talisphere viewers what makes the IB100 ImmunoBoost product stand out more than the other holistic products that's available on the market?
Absolutely. So as brother Victor, Mr. Muhammad stated last week about the product and how it all got started in 1994.
Okay.
Um, when we connected in Georgia, uh, I had asked him about it, and at that time, he was doing a little bit here and there, and so I used my connections and resources from the people that I've met in my life. One lady was a holistic health nurse. She had been a nurse for, I think, 30 years, and she switched over to holistic. And so I brought her into the picture. And then from there, people just gravitated towards helping Mr. Victor Muhammad to get this product going. And so, of course, I couldn't talk about it because my background is not in health. However, my experience in life at 56 years of age now is in health. So therefore, I started the product on myself. And the first day, 2, 3 days that I started using the IB100, I got some of the best sleep that I've ever had in life. And then from that point on, the things that I had going on with my health, um, me being a former military man, I would always get my physicals done at the VA. And so um, I had my normal physical done at the VA. And because I was on the IB100, probably 6 months at that time, the first 3 months, the first 90 days, I was taking it every day. And then after
Okay.
that, I slowed it down. Um, but once I got the results from my doctor, the things that I was dealing with for probably mm, maybe 20 years or 15 years was absolutely gone, negative results. And so that was my personal testimony of the IB100. And from that point on, I just started spreading the word with
Right.
the
And
product.
there's even more testimonies you were telling me about. There's
Oh,
a medical
absolutely.
doctor, and is she in DC, that has patients that she
Absolutely.
has been, recommending the ImmunoBoost to, and they've had good results. So tell us more about those testimonies.
So there's like I'll tell you about two, maybe three testimonies. There was a young man that had liver cancer.
Okay.
And I didn't know him because of me being in trucking. That's how we met. And he had came to purchase a truck that I was had for sale. And I sold him the truck, and then he came back to purchase the second truck. And when he came back, his face was like yellow, and eyes was yellow, everything was yellow. And he was from Honduras. And again, me not being in the medical field, I asked him, I said, "Hey, what's going on? Why are you so yellow?" And he said, he'd been diagnosed with liver cancer. I was like, wow, okay. And immediately I said, well, hey, look, I got something for you. We're knocking out the price of the truck. Um, Here you go. In other words, part of this is going to be your payment for the truck. So I told him about it, and he stayed about 2 hours away. So he took it back, and he said he's going to get started on it immediately. He had been at the doctors at Duke Medical Hospital. And so I say, hey, look, just try this. It's a supplement. It's all natural. It's not going to interfere with any type of medication or treatment that you are currently on. And one of the things since 2017 and beyond, but I can definitely speak since 2017 that Mr. Victor Muhammad and I connected, is we have no case of any side effects from any of the products that Mr. Victor Muhammad has produced since 1994 and since 2017. So I told him, I said, just try it out, take it intranasal. And probably about 2 weeks, I went to go visit him because I had to bring some paperwork for the truck that he had bought from me. And his face was completely back to normal, color-wise.
Mm.
And I was like, wow. He's like, yeah, it's cleared up everything, but I still, he was still going to the doctors, but it showed signs that, it was working. But he wanted to go to the doctor down in Honduras and get further investigation on his situation with his liver. And so I didn't hear from him probably in about maybe a month or two. And when I called his wife, she said he was doing very fine, but she never went into detail because he was down in Honduras, how his condition was. So that was one testimony. Another one, right here in North Carolina, a young lady had had abdominal cramps, and she had a cyst on her ovary. And so she had been dealing with it for about, I think she said about 90 days, and she was going back and forth to the doctor. Um, and they was doing tests on the cyst on her ovary, and not only abdominal cramps, but she had discharge. And so I say, hey, look, try this. Let me know, the results of it. Within 2 days, within 48 hours, I called her going into the third day, and I asked, I say, how's the supplement going? She said, you won't believe it, but my cramps are gone. The discharge stopped. And I have an appointment, a final appointment of examination with the doctors in like 40 days. I said, well, continue to take it and just let me know the results. And she went to her doctor's appointment. This was the final examination before they do an operation.
Right.
And she let me know that the cyst was completely gone off her ovary.
Yeah.
And that's another testimony that I've experienced working with Mr. Muhammad's products
And you,
supplement.
and you shared more with me, but for the sake of time, yeah, we'll um, appreciate the two that you told us about. And I just want to follow up with what you just said.
Okay.
Um, a lot of times people can get treatment for certain things that, your friends were dealing with. These treatments often cost maybe $100,000 for 2 or 3 months. They could cost, I have a family member right now, she's you know, kicking cancer to the curb. And she told me it's costing her, $1,500 a month. So these treatments and therapies, uh, they do work. Okay.
Yes.
We have some doctors in Mexico. There's a father and son. They started a clinic in Mexico. Everybody used to go there, and they probably still do now. But yeah, they were charging like 100,000 a month,
Wow.
for I don't know how long, but it's pretty costly. So if you can't afford that, where do you fit in? Because a lot of it, you have to like have the herbs and you know, the fruits and all those vegetables and everything like potential at a high potency. All
Right.
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 And, mixed with a lot of other secret ingredients. But
Right.
yeah. So for us, maybe like me, we're on the African continent and, you know, some of us here are making $50 a month. They're making $200 a month. So spending 1,500 US dollars on a treatment is not
Right.
an option. So this is a godsend for
It is.
anyone who don't have the budget for that.
Correct.
This could, you know, hey, save
Absolutely.
your life. Yeah, this is a game changer.
A very much so a game changer if we but hear the word and adhere to it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So thank God for Mr. Victor Muhammad. God bless him. We'll talk more
Yes.
about our interview last week, but I'm
Yeah.
sorry about my background. Sometimes, depending on what I wear, things just keep popping up behind me. So sorry about that.
That's
But
okay.
anyway, so tell us why it's important. I know you're not a medical practitioner, but tell us why it's important for us to maintain a strong immune system, Brother
So
Kenneth.
what I was saying, no, I don't have a medical background, but I am a scientist with the body that God has given me.
Okay.
So I can speak on the house that I live in,
Okay.
which is this that's been created. And just like any house or even your car,
Right.
you there are things that are valuable to you in your car, in your house.
Mhm.
It could be your children, your husband, your wife that's in that car in the house. So to leave your doors unlocked, to leave your windows up, anything, anyone can come into your house and cause you danger. And this is an analogy. So this house that we live in, it has security systems. It's called an immune system. That is a security system. And if that security system that you live in is weak, then things like and I know brother Victor Muhammad said it last week about
Okay.
what we put into our bodies. And then not only that, what we allow things to come into our bodies because our immune system is weak. And I think one of the biggest factors of a weak immune system is stress. One of those silent killers. I've experienced that as well. So to keep your immune system strong with the right proper sleep, with the proper food that we put in our body, and also it's a struggle just living in this world. So with the products that Victor Muhammad has produced since 2017 and 1994, as I mentioned earlier, we have not had not one sign of side effects from the people who have taken it, and it does work. Um, it's just like putting an alarm system, a brand new alarm system, Ring, whatever alarm system you have. It's like putting an alarm system on your body so that your body's fighting constantly while you're not even aware that it's fighting a bacteria virus because you don't get the symptoms of it. So that is really the importance of putting that immune system, keeping your immune system strong, which a lot of people don't even talk about immune system. I can't remember once a doctor asking me, well, how's your immune system going? Or we just tested your immune system. I don't recall a doctor ever saying that to me, but it's really important because it is what fights to keep your body safe and sound. Really important.
Right, that's very true. So, yeah, as a distributor for the Boost 100, IB 100
Mhm.
product, how do you plan to educate and energize our people, engage our community here on the continent so that they're aware of the holistic benefits of the IB 100?
One of the things, and I thank you for asking me about the continent, so because I'm so excited to be a part of Life Science Africa, and one of the things of planning to promote this is being able to listen
Mhm.
to what the people are saying,
Right.
paying attention, whether they may or may not know that I'm listening, but I'm listening for their health issues. Um, that would be the start, and then to allow them to communicate to me, whereas then I can then say, well, you know what, I have something that can probably help you with that. And they may not even know I was paying attention to their elbow hurting, or they may have some rheumatoid arthritis, or their shortness of breath, or can't walk up the steps, or there's so many signs. The skin tells you a lot about a person's health. The color of their eyes, the whiteness tells you a lot. And I just pay attention. That would be the first step of saying, hey, I think I got something that can help you with this. Matter of fact, I know I have something that can help you. So listening is a skill that a lot of us don't even involve ourselves with. But people like to be heard. People like to be listened to. That would be the outstart. And of course, relocating or to the continent um, to promote pretty much everything that Mr. Muhammad said about taking accountability. You said supporting by educating and letting the people know that, we're here to help. I know one of the things that I always share with people, before Jesus could tell the people of his Father, he listened to their condition and healed them. And once he healed their condition, they bear witness to who the man was. So it made it even easier for them to accept the mission of Jesus, because, I'm healed. This man has really helped me. So
Yeah.
that would be my goal, my baseline to get started with this.
Okay, so you had a little segue there when we talked last week when I talked with Mr. Victor Muhammad, you said support and education. So
Yes.
let's bring everyone up to speed with our discussion last week.
Okay.
Uh, around that topic, support. Okay, that includes education. It should, let's use the analogy, maybe TLC, right? Being able to talk to people, listen, that's the L, connect, and then you can educate and they can
Right.
change their behaviors.
I
So
like that.
that's yeah, that's what I was talking about last week. That's what I was trying to get across when I was talking to Mr. Victor Muhammad. So everyone should remember that there's times you might need support, I might need support, and we just don't know how to give. And that's maybe the reason a lot of relationships don't work out, because the other party don't know they know how to get support. You know how they always say some people can give or some people can receive but never give. So we have to like change that dynamics and, be able to, yeah, to support more, give
Right.
more. Yeah. Let's see. Let's take a quick look at this video about support.
We are all vulnerable.
Okay, 1 second. Let me get you on screen share. Here we go. All right. Okay. Oh, wait, let me try to get.
Section 1. Introduction. Not all carbs are created equal.
All right.
We often hear that carbohydrates are essential for energy.
Okay, that's my next video. Hold on, let me get the other video. Okay, that's my video about support.
We all struggle. We all experience moments of darkness. And yet, we also possess an immense capacity for resilience, for hope, for healing. Especially within the vibrant tapestry of African communities, the power of shared humanity shines brightly. When we face health challenges, both mental and physical, knowing we are not alone can make all the difference. Emotional support is needed when there is past trauma, food addiction, drug addiction, alcoholism, loss of a friend or loved one. These are times we may need a listening ear to learn about valuable resources or just have a shoulder to lean on. We can also support each other by helping with daily tasks, a hand to lift us up when we stumble. And sometimes we need professional help, expert guidance to navigate the complex terrain of our minds and bodies. In the heart of Africa, where community is not just a concept but a lifeline, these forms of support come alive in extraordinary ways. Stories of individuals who have been able to overcome life's challenges abound. We overcome adversity through the strength of our shared experiences. This video explores those stories, reminding us that even in the face of great challenges, hope and healing are always within reach. Please hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe to the Vitalize Africa channel.
All right, so
The cultural tapestry
did that
weaving
go?
resilience through.
all right, how did that come across as far as learning more about how to support each other?
Well, it's and I'm not certain if it's how to support or because we can support. One of my great teachers, he made a statement and it stuck with me. If you say that you can see, then you are responsible for the blind. Now, once you have helped a person that can't see to start seeing,
Right.
then it's up to them to either continue the process or go back into their old ways.
Exactly. They need to take accountability. That's what
Right.
Brother Victor was saying last week.
Right. And once and I can only speak for myself. Once I've helped a person, listen to a person, and we, start going down this road, and then they make the decision to fall back in there,
Right.
then do I sink my ship to go save someone that's not even trying to get in the ship?
No. There's yeah,
So
so
it's like a
no,
delicate
we're
balance.
talking about the initial support. We're not talking
Absolutely.
about down the road where people, they need more
Correct.
than just support. They need,
Right.
a whole
Right.
new
Right.
brain. Okay. Yeah, we're
Right.
not talking about those
Got
people
you.
who are just, lost. And I feel bad for them because I too, not, you know, not just health wise, but there's other areas I was lost in the sauce. I
Correct.
was lost to follow up, I was just
Right.
lost. But now, thank God, I guess I'm supposed to be, where I'm at right now and no longer in the wilderness going around and around for, you know, 80 years or however
Right.
long the Israelites, my people, however long they were out there. So yeah, I'm no longer lost, and a lot of people can find their way with support. So
Right.
I'm just what I'm talking about is the initial uh yeah
Yeah, it's
uh
it's and it's our duty. If you're blessed to see, then it's our duty to share what we see, um, and build that momentum up. It's absolutely our duty. And a lot of, well, I ain't gonna say a lot. There are people who are blessed, but then they want to just keep it for themselves. And Victor Muhammad is not one of those people to keep it to himself, or he could have been done when he got a six-figure job, doing whatever and pretty much selling out. But that's not the case. So we're definitely accountable for what we know
Right.
and what we're going to do with it.
Right. And you have people who are in denial. You have people who, they allow their brain to convince them of certain things. It's funny how our brain works. We have to do our self-talk and sometimes fight with our own brain. Can you believe it? Can you imagine? And this is something, I think you sent me a message this morning, a prayer, and you said, remember to do these things during the day and don't, tell me that prayer. I don't know if you know it off the top of your head.
It's called the refuge prayer.
Right.
Now, we have negative and positive in us, and it's a struggle to keep that balance. I think in Asia they call it the yin and the yang. That is not going anywhere. That's just part of nature. So we're in a world that amplifies negativity. So we struggle against that because our nature is positive. So what you was talking about, how our brain works, but it's natural, because if you look at the batteries in a car, or the batteries that you put in a flashlight, it has a positive charge and a negative charge. If you look at the North Pole and the South Pole, the planet Earth, the North Pole has a negative charge, the South Pole has a positive charge, and there's very little to no life in the South Pole, but then the North Pole is very, very positive life. So that is how we're created. That's how our house run, from negative and positive charge. So we think that. And it is a struggle. So the prayer that I sent to you, and there again, I was listening to what you were saying through text message. And I say, hey, here you go, because we're all striving. And so that prayer is called the refuge prayer, seeking refuge, basically from the negative of this world.
Yeah. Right. And this is something I work on with my patients during the week, because of what their brain is telling them. They, believe certain things. They end up getting stressed out because of it. They get anxiety. Their whole, life is off, okay, because of something their brain is telling them that may or may not be true. It may or may not be a threat, right? But they are starting to believe certain things. So a lot of what I do, I used to be in that situation. That's why I'm an excellent mental health advocate, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I would do this to, this would happen to me too. I would do this to myself, where I would allow my brain to just keep bringing up things that, is not relevant, is not going to happen. It doesn't matter. So I've learned to just turn it off. And I say to my brain, okay, if this is important, brain, we'll think about it between 4 and 5 o'clock today. But right now, I got something to do. I don't have time for it. I don't care what, you look at YouTube and you see some kind of fascinating story and you're like, oh, nope, I don't have time for it. Nope. I hear, somebody next door hollering and I ain't got time for it, so yeah, I gotta stay in my lane, stay focused, not only because I have attention deficit disorder, but uh, a lot of people who do, have anxiety but a lot of people have anxiety without attention deficit disorder. A lot of people give themselves anxiety because they listen to what their brain is saying, which is negative, like you were saying. And
if I could add to that, I read it was a quote from, I can't think of the man's name, but it was an Eastern quote. And he said, if you are experiencing something that hasn't happened, that is what's called anxiety.
Right.
And if you are experiencing something that happened in the past, that is what's called depression. But if you're capable of staying in the present, that is where God resides. And so they refer to God as omnipresent. And I think we spoke about this through text. The goal is to stay in present time. The mind, the brain, as you say, the brain is an organism, it's a machine. Again, I do not have a medical background, but what I do have is common sense. And they don't really give that out. You can't go to college and get a degree in common sense. You just gotta have it. Um, but the brain is an organism,
Right.
and you can really look at it as like a laptop or a computer. It's you can program it. The question is, who's the you that's programming it? And we, like you said, it's something on YouTube pop up. You hear some noise out here pop up, man-made noise for that matter, because when you hear a bird, when you hear a woodpecker, that's God noise. That's
Right.
that's good noise. That's natural. And like I said, I'm 56, so I remember cartoons where the little angel was on one shoulder and the little devil was on the other shoulder, and listening to one or the other. And we because of the world, when I say world, I'm not talking about the planet Earth. That's not the world, that's the planet. The world are
Right.
systems. World comes from the minds of men and women. So the world we live in is going to determine which voice we're going to listen to. So your example of what you just gave is your spirit taking control of your mind versus the spirit of this world, which is the real you. That's who lives in this house that we're looking at on this screen. It's your spirit, and so you're strengthening your spirit. I think the self-accusing spirit is what we refer to it as. And so
Mhm.
we feed that very little, or that
Okay.
spirit is fed very little. Maybe on Sundays when we go to church or the mosque on Friday, we get it fed. But then once we leave there, we're constantly fed the negativity. And
Mm.
so you will have to create your own atmosphere as the earth has its atmosphere just by submitting to the truth that you know, and then deciphering.
Hallelujah.
And
I
again,
mean,
this is just common sense. I mean,
I'm there. I'm there. I have to be because, I won't get anything done. I won't be productive. I
there you
won't
go.
be in the present. I won't, yeah. So, yeah. So we want our viewers to also recognize, what the problem is and different strategies that, I myself, Mr. Kenneth Muhammad, Mr. Victor Muhammad, I'm sure a lot of people in the Nation of Islam, uh, a lot of people in the psychiatric field, what we're doing as far as being able to cope and maintain our emotions and, have a better quality of life. Okay, so that
Absolutely.
should be the goal. And we shouldn't be the ones who are, you know, uh, causing our own, you know,
Detriment.
self-inflicted uh,
Yes.
problems, right? So another thing we discussed last week, Mr. Victor Muhammad and I, the awesome Mr. Victor, is oh, let me put you back on screen share. It's sugar and carbs. And I wanted everyone to know that sugar and carbs, like the potato, bread, pasta, uh, those things, turn into uh, glycogen in the body, sugar and carbs, those types of carbs, right? So from there, too much of this stuff will lead to inflammation in the body, different medical conditions, perhaps like diabetes, insulin resistance. So let's first check out this video and then I'll come back and we'll talk more about it.
Section 1. Introduction. Not all carbs are created equal. We often hear that carbohydrates are essential for energy. While true, this statement doesn't paint the whole picture. It's like saying all cars are good for transportation. Technically correct, but overlooks the crucial differences between a nimble electric car and a gas-guzzling monster truck. Similarly, not all carbs are created equal. While complex carbohydrates found in whole grains and vegetables provide sustained energy, simple carbohydrates from processed foods and sugary drinks lead to a rapid surge of glucose in your bloodstream, setting off a chain reaction with detrimental consequences for your health. Imagine a sudden influx of sugar flooding your system, overwhelming your body's ability to process it efficiently. This sugar spike triggers a cascade of biological responses, leading to inflammation, insulin resistance, and the formation of harmful compounds that accelerate aging and disease. The long-term effects of this seemingly harmless sugar rush can be far more insidious than a fleeting energy slump. Understanding the difference between good carbs and bad carbs is crucial for making informed choices about your diet and overall health. By recognizing how simple carbohydrates affect your body at a molecular level, you can take proactive steps to mitigate the risks and cultivate a lifestyle that promotes vitality and longevity. This exploration into the world of carbohydrates will unravel the hidden dangers of the sugar spike and empower you with the knowledge to make healthier choices, one bite at a time.
Wow.
Yes, yes. So
Wow.
let me get back to you now. Right.
Wow.
So I hope our viewers understand more about what we were trying to, to tell everyone last week.
Right.
Your thoughts.
I read some of the comments, a matter of fact, all of them that I read, and they were very, very positive. It seems like a lot of people are desiring this information, and not just this information, but in any information that's opposite of what we've been receiving. I'll share my own again. In 2009, I donated a kidney. And they did a year of interviewing to make sure that I was a match, physically, mentally matched for this kidney transplant. And the doctors, he was talking to the doctor. He said, well, Mr. Muhammad, you know that diabetes and hypertension runs in your family because, your mom have it, he went through the list, right? And I looked at him and I said, sir, and he said, what is it, genetically or what do they call it?
Family history or along those lines. Uh-oh, did I lose you? Okay. All right. So until our connection returns, viewers, yeah, we are having a discussion about the effects of carbs and sugar in the body. Too much of it, anyway, could lead to different medical conditions like diabetes, insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is, you're eating a lot of carbs and sugar, and your insulin is going up and down, going up and down. And you don't want that because that's going to lead to inflammation over time. So once you have inflammation in the body, then you have other medical issues that are going to start, coming up. And this could lead to you having to take medication, feeling sick and, not having a good quality of life. So yeah, let's begin to work on our diet. Mr. Kenneth Muhammad was telling us that the IB100 formula could help to, you know, help the body function better and, probably clean up some things on the inside. So I would like to thank our special guest, Mr. Kenneth Muhammad, for joining us today. We didn't get to finish the podcast with him, but I do want to ask him if he wants to be a co-pilot here with me on the Talisphere weekly. Maybe we could start that next month. I do want to let everyone know that we do have a featured business for June. Hadi Kaloli, we're going to feature Hadi. She's from the Gambia. We're going to feature her little fashion business that she's getting up and running. And we said Queen Majine left $50 for any new entrepreneur. So Hadi is our first, well, Mr. Kenneth Muhammad in the IB100, that's our business for this month, but he doesn't want to take any payment for being a featured business or a special guest. So we are paying that forward to the next business in June, which will be Hadi's Fashions. All right. So if you would like to earn $50 for being a new entrepreneur, $25 for being a guest speaker here on the Talisphere, please email us at talisphere@gmail.com or vitalizeafrica@gmail.com. Oh, good. We get to end our podcast with our special guest, Mr. Kenneth Muhammad. God would not have it any other way. So while his audio is connecting, let me tell you more. Welcome back, my brother from another mother. So
Yeah,
good to see you again.
it's good to be seen again. Evidently, somebody didn't want that story to come out, but we're gonna
Yeah,
keep
but we come against those forces with even greater forces.
absolutely,
Yeah, because
absolutely.
we know
What,
who we are.
what was the
And
last thing you heard?
the last thing I heard, I got ADHD. I can't remember.
So anyway, okay, so I did a kidney transplant in 2009. And 2008, they did a year-long interview, and the doctor said, diabetes and high blood pressure and hypertension is hereditary. Your mom got it, your dad got it, grandma, all that stuff. And I looked at the doctor and I said, what's hereditary in my family is bad eating habits. That's
Mm,
what's hereditary.
mm,
And he said, what do you mean? I said, it's the foods that we eat, because I've been blessed to learn how to eat to live. And I'm still learning how to eat to live because, like I said, we struggle against this yin and yang. However, for the past 34 years, I've been eating better than the rest of my family members for that matter. And so when you showed the video of the carbohydrates, and that was something interesting because I remember Mr. Victor Muhammad said last week, he went down the list and he said white rice,
mhm,
white sugar,
mhm.
white this,
Potatoes.
white that, white this. Everything was, white, right? And one of the things that I've learned over the years of, waking, my eyes being open, is that in its natural state, rice is not white. It's bleached to be white. And I remember one time I was talking to Victor Muhammad, and he was telling me how to brown my rice. If you want to eat rice, there's nothing wrong with that. So to the listening viewers, it's nothing wrong with rice. It's how you prepare the rice.
Right. So
You
some of
know?
us are putting the rice in the refrigerator for 24 hours. That lowers the, glycemic content.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And some rice depending on where you get it from, it's loaded with arsenic. So you need to do your research to figure out where the rice is coming from and which ones do not have a lot of arsenic, because that could lead to bladder cancer and
And
other
see,
issues. Yeah.
and some people may not be blessed to do the research.
Right.
So that's where the support come in at.
Oh, well,
Because
if
they
you hear if they're in the sound of our voice, I mean, if you hear something like that, you're gonna do your research. If you
Well, it's like what Victor said last week. Victor Muhammad said last week. Some people would rather just be told what to do than to figure it out themselves. So they'll pick up their phone and tune in to Dr. Taal's show just to be told what to do, and because they trust you, right? And so that's the thing about listening and just giving out information. Because I rather share with them what to do than depend on them to go do it themselves, because they may work third shift. They may be a single mom and just don't have the time, the ability, but just tell me what to do, because you know who is telling them what to do are the advertisements.
right.
They're telling them what to eat. So why not we tell them? And Victor Muhammad told me even the soil that the food is grown out of could be arsenic.
Yeah.
So I know
Water.
right. So when I had got the land down in Georgia, we had to have the soil tested before putting seeds in the ground. We didn't have to, but we was told, make sure you test the soil prior to planting your crops, and then determine what's in it. And so this is like information that we share with other people so that we can get a better understanding of what we're doing.
Okay, okay. Well, we've come to the end of our podcast today. And when you were trying to reconnect, I was telling everybody it would be good to have you on the Talosphere as a co-pilot weekly. So we'll talk about that. Maybe we could do something next month, see how it goes. I was also
Okay.
letting everyone know that we have a featured business for June. We have Miss Hadi Kaloli from the Gambia. She is a new entrepreneur and she's selling fashion items. So we'll have her video posted on talosphere.com. So check out talosphere.com. You can email us here at talosphere@gmail.com or vitalizeafrica@gmail.com. So any parting words for our viewers today before we sign off, Mr. Kenneth Muhammad?
One of my main scriptures that I like from the Bible is that my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. And because thou hast rejected knowledge is the one that comes behind that. Then God says, I will reject thee.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I like about that is that he didn't say my people are destroyed for a lack of money.
Mm.
He didn't say my people are destroyed for a lack of health. He said my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. So it's knowledge that will keep us from continuously being destroyed.
I do concur. So don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe button, viewers. Join us, maybe not next week, but next month we'll be back for the Carifica global launch on
Yay.
the 4th of June. The premiere of the Monkey Business movie on Carifica is on the 9th of June. And yeah, the Monkey Business movie premieres on the 8th. That's Saturday the 8th. And so a lot's going to happen in June. So we'll
Absolutely.
probably come back and we'll be televising live for both events. So yeah, you'll see us around that time. If you don't see us next week or the week after, we'll be back on our regular schedule around the middle of the month. But you'll see us live the 8th of June and the 9th of June. You don't want to miss it. I'll leave the link for the Monkey Business movie trailer in the description box below. Check out our new entrepreneur at talosphere.com next month. That should be ready to go on the 1st of June. So thank you, Queen Majeen, for leaving that fund. Thank you, Mr. Kenneth Muhammad, for taking the time out to,
Thank you.
to talk business with us today, and we
Absolutely.
do hope you will come back.
I would
And
love to come back. Thank you for the invite. I would love to.
yes, we hope to see you again very soon on the continent and on the Talosphere.
Yes.
And yeah, until next time, everyone, stay happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise.